Okay, you guys, we're doing Zodiac readings. Well, I really call them soul confirmations. Zodiac soul confirmations. We already completed Gemini, Leo, and Virgo. Virgo, you kind of cut off. My computer died, and that's my apologies. The last little bit that I was saying on Virgo is Virgo, when you spend time at the shore, it was going to be really good for you. Spending time at the shore is really good for you. Why? Because you have the grounding and you have the water. And because you're privy to the water, it allows you to be privy to your emotions. And it really enhances the communication, spiritual communication, and kind of like igniting your gifts in that sense, in the hearing. It's activation that occurs. So while you're standing there, you might notice that the wind picks up, and these are going to be your signs and confirmations that you are where you need to be, and that this is truly happening within you. Okay. Virgos, if you have more questions, and again, Virgo, most of your reading is in the last post, so you want to go to part 1 of this, and Virgo, you have a little bit more of the message there. Right now, we're going to be moving into Libra. We're going to move into Libra. Virgo, if you have any questions or you want to meet with me personally, just let me know. I'd love to meet with you guys on a personal level. Any other signs, Gemini, Leo, your reading was already completed, so just go back to the previous post. The Libra, also before we get started, we already prayed in the last live, but I'm just going to reintroduce here. Okay, so we ask now that our gods, goddesses, and ascending masters, all that are here for our highest good, become present with us now. We ask that all messages be channeled with clarity. We ask for discernment. We ask for protection. We are grateful, thankful for this time, for this space, for this essence, and for this presence. We are bringing in all zodiac signs. These messages are timeless. Please let me know how they resonate with you. If they don't resonate, let it go and let it flow. Okay. If you want to be added to the mailing list, just drop your email so I can have it and add you. There's a lot of things that get sent out via email. I put in that work for real. So, Libra. Alright, so Libra. Gemini, with Mercury being its ruler and with the sun being direct, again, communication is really high. And so this kind of lets us know that energy that we just pulled from Virgo, where Virgo, when you're standing at that water, how the communication in the air. Now the air element, did you just leave your sister outside? The air element, the air element is a Libra, right? That's Libra. So this is where you kind of come into play. And this is why I see communication being really, really big for you. Now, how your communication is coming in is what we're going to tune into now. Because I feel like you're getting different forms of communication. I don't feel like it's very specified in how things are being communicated to you. But I need you to know that Spirit is very creative in how Spirit works and how Spirit reveals to us. Those messages that I were telling you guys about spending time looking at the clouds and being able to see things. Being able to see things in the clouds. You might even capture pictures because the clouds are actually telling a story. And this could be one of your first acknowledgments of communication, that Spirit is truly communicating with you. Yes, some of you are really, really falling more in tune with numbers, and animals can also be having heavy communication with you as well. Stop. Animals can be having heavy communication with you as well. Some of you guys need to take the initiative. To initiate that communication. Like Spirit is saying, you know, I've been talking to you, but you're not talking to me, right? And you're an actual air sign, so communication is really big for you. Puppy, stop! I don't want to hear that. Chill out. You want to utilize this time to communicate openly and honestly. Communication is one of your powers. See, and the reason why I say communication is one of your powers is because... Stop. You're not going outside. The reason why I say communication is one of your powers, specifically because you have the power of the tongue. The words that come out of your mouth are so powerful. And I feel like you are seeing this more and more. And not only are you seeing it, but others are seeing it. The words that are coming out of your mouth. And I don't care if your words are being used in a positive or a negative. No matter how it's being used, you, Libra, are powerful. So it's something for you to know and something for you to take account of. Now, when we're looking at account, because this takes me to, and I'm going to tell all of you that if you haven't already, go tune in to we had a Reiki for the full moon in Sag, and the intuitive message was recorded. So I can send that to you if you don't have it already, or you're able to go to the website, Savvy Roses 44, and get that message, because it means something for all of us, right? But with Libra in particular, with the words that are coming out of your mouth, and again, because this even showed us, right, it came through with the Gemini, with the presence of now, just the timing and transits of now, why your tongue, it cuts, with it's very sharp. You can utilize your tongue in many different ways. And I feel like you know this, though. You know this. So the reason why I'm introducing that Reiki intuitive message for full moon and Sag is because we talked about responsibility. And responsibility was your response to your abilities. So because this ability, this speech, this communication, this tongue, the power of the tongue that you hold, you are responsible for it, but your response to that ability is everything, right? This is where your magic really shows up. This is how you show up. This is how you show up. And again, whether it be good or bad, who be the judge? Only you be the judge. But I feel like you'll be a better judge as you witness more of the influence that you make, all not even based on any actions, just the actions of the tongue, the choosing of the words, the timing, and when you chose to speak, and who you chose to speak to, and why you chose. You see what I'm saying? Like everything that went into the intention of the tongue, right? And how as soon as it left your mouth, it said, and it either performed like a miracle or a positive, or it performed a negative, and it transformed and changed somebody's life. But everybody is seeing it. You're not the only person that's seeing it. Everybody is seeing it. So that's for you to know. Now that could be something to move through. And we did talk about some of the emotions that come out, and even going back a little bit over Leo, how this reflects the heart chakra and what this can do to the heart chakra. So Libra, you want to see yourself in all these spaces, and I would definitely journal and see how this message might resonate with you, what you're doing, as far as like, what are you saying, how are you setting your intention, what is the the purpose of your delivery, the purpose of your work, the reason, the rhyme as to why you say the things you do, to who you say the things you do. Really taking accountability and taking account, looking at your summary of self, because this is you. This is you. So it's really the truth of who you are, right? Not only do you see, but other people see too. So again, Libra, if you have any questions in regards to that, let me know. If you want to meet with me on a personal and see how that really gets into the depths of you on a personal level, don't hesitate to let me know. I'm going to tap into Scorpio. So, Scorpio, you guys are in a lot of thought. You guys are spending a lot of time in thoughts. And maybe, Scorpio, okay, you're spending a lot of time in thoughts, and the reason why you might be spending a lot of time in thoughts is because you have some decisions and choices to make. Now, when you go back to that Reiki collective intuitive healing message from the full moon in Sag, you're going to hear me speak about the decisions and choices, especially after something is revealed. And I feel like this is why you are in so much thought, because when things are going through the reveal process, like prior to it actually being revealed, there's an energy, there's a cultivation, there's something that's occurring in there. And I feel like in there is what's happening within you. You're feeling all of this. Now, you haven't really identified the key. What is this yet? What is this? This is why you're spending so much thought. You're spending so much time in thought. And again, it's going to bottom down to some decisions and choices that you're having to make. Now, before you make any decisions and choices, the thought process, again, because you understand that there's connections, that there are certain things that connect. This connects to this and this. So you have to put things together. You have to process it together. And because things did not just begin now, you're having to put together different points within the timeline, right? This speaks to me to something that's been happening over quite some time. So I want to use the word like longevity, right? And this really gets down to the roots and the basis of things, right? Which is where a lot of your wealth and your abundance and your manifestation, your seeds, see whether the seed has fully grown and matured, whether it's something where you can harvest or not, you still know that there is a seed invested there, which means that there's an investment there. There's a return that you know that even if it not be now, then later. So you have to go and almost check on all your seeds, check on all your investments, check on the maturity of this and the interest of that, and and making sure that each thing is growing according to how it's supposed to make sure that there's nothing else that you need to add to it or do to it, right? Scorpio is really working on multiplying. And so I feel like you are figuring out, because this even goes back to the message back in that collective intuitive healing from the full moon in Sag. We talked about integration, and I feel like this is what you are integrating. You're integrating that long-term placements that are all connected from the past till now, putting it all together, processing it all, because you're going to utilize this information. You are going to utilize this information. You're going to utilize, I almost got ringing in both of my ears as soon as I said that, but you're going to utilize this information. You know that this ability to process comes directly from source, and you understand that as source goes inner you and processes all of this information, and you have the ability to come out and do something with it, that is what you are being called to do something with all that it is that you know, to do something with all that it is that you are putting together, to do something with the decisions and choices that you have made in the past and in the present and moving into the future. To do something with is to multiply, to make more, right? This really speaks to production. Okay? I feel like moving forward, you guys are looking for co-creation, people, places, and things that you can co-create in, do things as partners, do things together. I don't feel like you really want to do it on your own anymore, or you just don't want to do it on your own. A part of whole is that half and this half, right? And so that togetherness, again, going back to integration, as to why togetherness, the two being together, the you and I, the unification, right? It is what it is, and it has to be that way. So this is why not doing it alone anymore is important to you, because you know that the duels, that the two, that the more, the merrier. You understand it. You're true to the assignment. You know, you understand the assignment. Ashe? So that is that. Let's see. You want to look at Sagittarius. Can you move? You're like distracting me. You're throwing me off. Dropping stuff. Please move. Okay. Sagittarius, I feel like you are being brought to the ending, to the closure of things. That's what this full moon was all about. You not only have you're not only seeing yourself through these closures and through these endings, but you are also the initiation of endings and closures for others as well. You are such an important piece on the cycle and within the system. There's an essence that you bring, and that essence, I feel, is the fire element within itself, because we know that fire is actually the ignition, it's the power, it's the fuel. And so it's funny because as soon as I said fuel, it's like fuel is necessary and it's needed, right? And it made me think of the high gas prices and how people need fuel, whether they can afford it or not. It's necessary and they need it. So this is how I feel about you, Sagittarius, that you're necessary and needed. It doesn't matter how people feel about it or if they have what is needed to receive it, but this element, this essence is necessary and needed. And there's a lot that comes with this essence. Now, it's interesting because in that full moon Sagittarius collective intuitive healing, we talked about we talked about grace. And I feel like Sagittarius, you are now bringing, and that could be the closure in itself, is the grace to it all. The grace in it all. Give me 1 second. Because this dog will not let me be. So the essence, right, is what brings grace. And this is why I'm saying you're not only being presented grace within with your own closures and things, but you're also providing grace to others by providing closure in the essence that you bring. By the power, right? This is the power, the fire that you bring. And I feel like this is without effort. This is something without effort. This is something without thought. This is just you being what you are and who you are. So I would really, Sagittarius, be in a space of gratitude, of thankfulness, of just somewhat overflow, because you know. And what do you know? I feel like you know just how good God is, and you know just how good Spirit is, you know just how good Source is, you know just how good you are, you know just how good all has been to you. And I just feel like you can't help but to be in full gratitude. This is where balance really comes from, Sagittarius. This is where balance really comes from for you. You gotta know when to celebrate and be in that gratitude space, just as much as when you don't feel necessarily in that space and you're more in, I want to say, more of the complaining phase, more of the like, man, this shit ain't right, this shit ain't right, this shit ain't right, and now you have to put on all this work and do all of this to get it to be where it needs to be. Whereas right now, that's why I said there's no work, there's no effort. It's just being who you are. It's just an essence. It's just a space. So this is why gratitude should be so much found in it, because you know both halves of it. You know both sides of it. You know the work and you know the release. And you should know at this point based on the closure. So don't be in the habit of falling into the same I guess cycle of kind of feeling that work, feeling that because this is where you lose control of the fire itself, right? So don't be deceived by that, right? Really balance and understand the fire, understand the grace, understand the warmth, understand the, because it's funny because in that reading we talked about how mercy walks with grace, right? So yes, and in that reading too, I acknowledge mercy as masculine and grace as feminine. So if you, Sagittarius, showing up in more of this graceful sense, knowing the masculine sense, knowing the other side, you see what I'm saying? To me, this is where the High Priestess really shows for you, right? The High Priestess. We're going to move into Capricorn. Capricorn. Capricorn, what makes you full? What makes you whole? What makes you happy? You got to do what makes you happy. You got to do what makes you feel full. You got to do what makes you feel whole. You got to do what makes you feel great. And whatever you have to do to feel that way, then do it. Whatever you have to do to be that way, then do it. Being is a state of being. It's not necessarily a feeling because a feeling changes, right? So this is deeper than your feelings. This is more so the state of being. Being great and being full, being complete, being whole. A lot of you guys should tap into your 4th house. Your 4th house even goes back to Cancer. You might resonate with Cancer. To get back to Cancer, you want to go to part 1 video. But Cancer, the 4th house, the home, the family, those are the type of things that you really want to think about. Here is for you, Capricorn. I do see breakthrough. I don't know if you're looking for a breakthrough, if you're wanting a breakthrough, if you are in a breakthrough right now, if you're entering a breakthrough right now. I do feel like you are, though. If it isn't already, then it will be occurring. There's a breakthrough for sure, and you are needing to break through. It's nothing else but you that are needing to break through. There's a lot of wealth and abundance here for you. There's a lot to gain here for you. There's a lot of production that is based on your own work and your own effort. Like, so you might feel like some things are owed to you, you know, and they will be delivered. They will be delivered. This could have to do with relationships and partnerships. I know prior to, closer to the new moon, we talked a little bit about the partnerships. We were looking into the 7th house. So the 4th house and the 7th house. Those partnerships in the home. I feel like there is a correlation, a correspondence to the two. Those are the things that you might be looking to balance out. Family, home, love, partnerships, the dual, right? I feel like you definitely need to take authority. You got to take a stance and you got to take a position. You can't hide or stand behind or be in the unseen or be in the unknown or none of that. However you're holding yourself back or keeping yourself away from, I feel like you're keeping yourself away from your blessing, right? So it would be upon you to take authority, to not hold yourself back, to not stay too secluded, but rather come out and be okay with taking that authority and taking that approach in the home, in the partnerships, in the love, in the family, in the grace, showing the mercy, how they walk hand in hand, and presenting the beauty in that. Okay? Presenting the beauty in that. I'm being called to do something. So we just finished up the last portion of Virgo. We did Libra, we did Scorpio, we did Sagittarius, we did Capricorn. So I'm going to end this video and we'll conclude with the rest of the signs, ending right back at Gemini. Okay? So we're going to have a part 3. I'm going to go ahead and take a break right now. If you have any questions, if there are things that resonates, please leave a comment. If you want to be on the email list, put your email down for me. Share, like, okay? Peace and love to you, and I look forward to seeing you in part 3. Go to part 1 if your sign wasn't here. Again, these signs don't have to be your sun sign. Again, these readings, these soul confirmations are timeless, okay? So be open to that. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Peace and love to you.